How's it going today, guys? So we got the boat loaded up and we're off to the island right now to meet up with Brett, Richard, and Jenna. And we're gonna go camping on this really small island. So I hope my little boat is able to carry all of us and all our gear over to the island. And I hope it's not gonna be too many trips, but I suspect it's probably gonna be a couple because there's 4 of us and 2 dogs as well. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff to bring over. But I'm pretty excited. So we're going to this bit of an undisclosed location, but it's gonna be a tiny little island and there's no houses or anything on it. So I'm pretty excited to have this private little island to ourselves, and hopefully we can find a good camping spot on it. I think Jenna had been there once before, but it was a few years back, so hopefully it hasn't changed too much. I'm just really excited. Hopefully the weather is good for us. Hopefully we can get some fish for the campfire, and I think we can harvest some mussels there as well. So I'm really stoked for this, and yeah. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll meet you on the island. Beautiful spot up here. We're just setting up camp. Perfect. But look at this beautiful little wildflowers. So nice. Such a nice little spot. So I'm super excited to go explore the island and yeah, have a good weekend. So we managed to get over, and it took 3 trips just because of all the stuff. We didn't want to have the dogs in the boat when too much stuff was in there. Just recipe for disaster. So it did take a few trips. As soon as we finished setting up camp, the target for today was get in the water and get a couple of fish for some tacos. The visibility was alright, and we had about 20 feet. Not the best I've ever had, but it was definitely doable for this dive. And yeah, we caught a few fish, so you can't really complain. So I really wanted to get a couple rockfish, but all the ones I seen were quite small. So I settled for some greenling, and I got a few of them, and that's what we had for dinner. Check out the sunstar. I was actually able to see a few of these on the dive, and it's really nice to see. I think in one of Chris's last videos, he spotted a big one too. Really nice to see these guys getting back into a healthier population. I gotta say, we got a pretty perfect setup here. Fish tacos, campfire on the beach. Perfect. The sunset here, guys, is outstanding. Look at this. Beautiful. How do you guys find these campsites?
Oh, it's amazing. Metadata.
So whatever that means, but this is an absolutely beautiful view here.
I'll never tell.
All right, Lucy.
Lucy, hey.
Lucy, how you finding this spot?
Did you get another crab?
She's eating something. Good forger.
She loves this stuff. She loves this island. It's rich.
Absolutely gorgeous. So some otters right there. You can take 4 of them. Their heads poking up. Can't get over how nice this is right here. Oh. So when we finish the can, we just throw it in the water, right? Like that's what people do. I've never been able to understand why people just throw cans in the ocean. Like that's unreal to me, but so many people do it, and I don't understand. Like that's never been a concept to me that's made sense. Unfortunately, dive day 2, the visibility went downhill very fast. As you can see here, I probably only had about 5 feet and a little bit of depth. In the shallows, it was probably closer to a foot or 2. And I had to drop down to about 8 or 9 meters to get anything farther than about 10 feet. But the problem is, because of all the bad visibility above, it got pretty dark down below. The saving grace for this one is I had my flashlight. On today's dive, I was using my Orca torch flashlight, and I definitely needed this. Some of the small little crevices and caves were pitch black. So I was lucky to have my flashlight. My Orca torch was able to shine some of these little caves and walls pretty nicely. But without that, it would have been pretty pitch black down below. So we started off with a couple drops, and I did a little treasure hunting. I got this one cannonball there, but I found another one a fair bit deeper. It's probably around 12 or 13 meters. And I just didn't feel it was overly safe, especially at the breath holder where I was at, to bring an extra, 10, 15 pounds of lead back to the surface. So you guys just remember, when you're cleaning up trash and picking up whatever, just you gotta remind yourself that it's only trash, so just leave it. Worry about yourself and your own safety first.
Flasher?
I really wanted to catch a bunch of crab for this trip because crab is one of my favorite seafoods by far. However, all the crab I was finding was really small. So, like the small red rock crab here, I mean, it probably is legal. I didn't check it, I just threw it back. But it just really wasn't worth it for me. A red rock of this size, yeah, like I said, legal, but it's not really worth it.
He's pretty tiny though.
On this drop down, I decided to go a little bit deeper. I got close to 14 meters on there, so it's a little bit deep, but it got really black. And I was seeing some more rockfish, so it was pretty good. And then right when I was about to turn up, I seen this really big guy, and I really just should have taken the extra second and just kind of focused for a minute. But I got excited, I just pulled the trigger, and unfortunately I missed. And this is by far the biggest fish I've seen on our whole trip, and I was just gutted about it.
I missed a huge one.
Something a lot of you might have seen, because I posted a short about this a few days ago, and I was really excited about this, and this is not something I was even looking for. It just kind of happened to literally pop up in front of my face. I caught this octopus. So like I said, I was going around, this is probably around 8 or 9 meters, kind of minding my own business, looking for fish, kind of side to side, as you can see here. And then all of a sudden, pow, it just pops up in front of my face, and I kind of have a split-second reaction. I had to just reach out and grab it. I actually dropped my spear gun, just trying to kind of wrestle for it. And then I grab my gun again and shoot back up to the surface. But like I said, I was super surprised about this. This is not something I was even looking for. It just literally popped up in front of my face.
In front of me. So cool looking though. What do you think? I'll cook an octopus tonight? I kinda wanna try it.
Yeah, it's funny how much of a problem is online.
Yeah.
Jeremy or Waterman CERN mentioned something to me, and I think it's probably pretty true. We wonder if octopus are a little more active this time of year because a few people I know now have caught them recently, and it's something that I don't really see throughout the year, and this is the first decent sized one I've ever caught, and I was really excited to try and cook it up. If you guys want to watch how to properly prepare and cook one of these up, I'm going to put a link down to Waterman CERN channel, aka Jeremy. And you guys can see how he does it properly. He goes a lot more into detail about this. I just kind of got a couple clips here and there. I wanted to cook it over the fire, so I parboiled it a little bit, threw it in the pan, roasted it over the fire, and then actually put it on a stick just to get a good char over the flames. And honestly, it turned out really good, even with the limited tools I had with me. But yeah, the proper way, like I said, go check out Jeremy's video. He does a lot better explaining than I do. So pan fried the octo. Does not look good. Pretty excited for this. Alright, look at that. So good. Alright guys. We'll see.
Wow, there's a rock in the inside of that one. Do you want a little taste?
No, wait.
You'll wait? Okay.
Alright, tell me if you like those octopus ones.
Should I put the shells in the pit?
Tell me if you like those ones. Better?
Yeah.
We had a decent amount of octopus, so we threw it into the seafood stew with the fish and the mussels. I don't think we could have asked for better conditions.
Yeah.
The evenings have died off, beautifully calm. Oh, wildflowers everywhere. It's absolutely gorgeous here. campsite's perfect. Got some tarps up because it had some sprinkled rain. It's beautiful here though. I just find these fields of flowers just gorgeous. So nice. Our own little remote island. So we had to root back to town and drop off Brett. He had to work in the morning, unfortunately. And then we grabbed some extra water, this for the pups, because it was getting a little warm out for them. And then we settled in for a night that I will not forget for a while. So I'm home now, and day 3 almost didn't happen. We didn't film anything, we didn't dive, because the night of night 2, around 3 a.m. in the morning, it was pretty wild. A pretty big storm picked up, and we had the boat, we picked up and dragged it up onto the beach and tied it to some logs in the forest. But that night, the tide came up, I would say probably 5 feet higher than the day before, the night before. And the storm was wild. There was probably 2-foot waves crashing onto the beach. So what ended up happening is the tide came up to where the boat was, and waves were crashing over the back of the boat and filling it up. So thankfully Richard actually woke up in the middle of the night, and he went down and came and woke me up, and we had to go down to the boat. So what ended up happening is the boat filled like almost entirely of water. And because it's inflatable, it can only like fill so much, which is really thankful for us. But it was just kind of against the shore, full of water, and the gas tank was like floating. So we had to do something about this, obviously. And what ended up happening is I took all the stuff out of the boat. So it was just a couple gas cans, the jerry can, and the paddle was pretty much all that was in the boat. And we carried them up onto the shore. We flipped the boat around. We took the motor off and hauled it up onto the shore. And then we were stuck with the boat full of water, which probably weighed a couple 1,000 pounds with how much water was in it. And I got very wet and very cold at 3 in the morning, bailing the boat out. So I was able to bail out all the water, and then we were able to drag the boat up way up onto the shore, way past the high tide line. We weren't taking any chances at this point. But around 3:30, 4 in the morning, I was freezing cold and very wet. So we both went back to bed for a couple hours just to warm up, basically. Probably around 6 a.m. we just said, okay, I'm done. And the 3 of us just packed up all the stuff and headed back to town. So there was no diving on the last day. Yeah, it was pretty fortunate that the boat didn't get damaged or anything like that. But it was a wild night, and I've learned my lesson with the ocean. Don't take any chances and haul the boat way up past the tide line, even though you don't think it's going to go that high. The tide wasn't supposed to go that high, but the storm just pushed all the waves way up onto the beach, and it was pretty crazy. So thankfully nothing got damaged, nothing broke, and we all got back totally fine. But it was a pretty wild night. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I want to give big thanks to, I guess, a few sponsors of this video. So as always, Bouchot and Diving Sports to help me with my diving gear. It's just amazing. Swellfish for the boat, super awesome as well. And Orca Torch, that light helped me a lot with these dives. And as well as Pacific Pilsner. Those beers were greatly appreciated. And about halfway through this video, I might have had a few of them. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me do these little adventures. With the prices of gas lately, it's really hard to do this kind of stuff. And it's not cheap. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, take care.